on the stage is Sandro Antonucci, who is a developer for Kubus, and will give us a presentation about Tag Manager, a tool to help manage the cookie banner script. So, Sandro, the floor is yours.
Thank you. So, good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here today to present our new tool, Kubus Tag Manager. It helps you manage cookie banners and scripts remotely. So, my name is Sandro Antonucci. I've always been passionate about innovative web tools, and over the years, I've worked with Kubus, where I gained knowledge about exchange tools with API platforms. I'm here to represent Kubus since the company has always been working with open source software. It's always been the main policy of them, and Kubus Tag Manager is the result of this. So, as you may know, the European regulations or the cookie law made it mandatory for all websites to implement a cookie banner and blockage scripts until the user's consent. When we decided to implement this, we evaluated different third-party solutions like Ubanda or Google Tag Manager. Regarding Ubanda, which became very popular in the last years since it offered various solutions, integrated solutions for GDPR and cookie compliance, but we were facing high licensing costs and a lot of bureaucracy. And regarding Google Tag Manager, we would be implementing ourselves all the scripts and the third-party solutions for the cookie banner. But for both of the solutions, we were scared to face the vendor lock-in that usually happens with those big IT players. So we decided to invest the time they will be using with these third-party solutions to develop our own in-house solution. So when we decided to go with the in-house solution, we had to decide which CMS to use. We'd been working with Joomla and Plone, but they were an overkill for our usage, for our needs, and WordPress was more front-end oriented. So we wanted to work with something based on the Laravel framework, since I had a little bit of experience with that, and I liked the easiness, the ease of use, and flexibility. So in the end, we decided to go with October CMS, which is very lightweight, customizable, open source, and it has an active community behind it. So to access the source code October CMS, you have to pay a small fee, which we were okay with that, since we believe in supporting small teams and small projects. But when we were developing the software, we encountered significant limitations regarding the reuse and the redistribution of the software. And we were scared to face the same lock-in issue with an open source software, which is a paradox. And so we contacted the company, since that wasn't really representing the philosophy of the open source world. We were glad to discover that they are changing things. For example, now the software is available on GitHub at no cost, but they still have that limitations on the EULA license, and so this is a work in progress. But in our case, since it was based on the Laravel framework, we can easily migrate the software to another platform like Winter CMS, which is a fork of October CMS. But anyway, after a year of testing and implementation of hundreds of our websites that we manage, we know for sure that it was the right choice for us. So this is the Kubus Tag Manager. We'll go through the key aspects that make it perfect for our needs, and hopefully will be also valuable for your needs. So we have a centralized management for our websites, and we also integrated a cookie banner already. We used Cookie Consent, which is open source software. So the main core of the Kubus Tag Manager is script templating. As the name suggests, you can create templates of scripts, and you can assign various parameters to those templates. And these templates can be used across multiple websites, which is a significant advantage, since you don't have to reconfigure that script for all your websites, and saves you a lot of time. And it was very useful when we had, this year, had to migrate all of our clients using Google Universal Analytics to Google Analytics 4. It took us a few minutes to do that, which was very helpful in this case. So another feature is that those templates that I talked about can be assigned a category, and each category will be directly reflected to the cookie banner that we used. So this will help the end users, decide which script to accept or block. And in this case, the analytics category is reflected directly in the cookie banner here. Another cool feature that we added is that not only you can inject scripts, but you can also inject simple content. For example, here we injected the YouTube code, which is just HTML. And you can decide which position to target in the remote site. For example, you can use an HTML tag or a HTML ID. This is very useful when you have to, in this case, inject simple code. You can do it directly remotely for a website without ever needing to access that site directly, which makes you save a lot of time. This old tool is based on the REST API model, so you have virtually no limitation on which remote client website you have to use. So you can basically run it everywhere. We also implemented a caching system provided by October CMS through the Laravel framework, and so that makes it very lightweight, energy-wise, for the machine that runs the Kubus Tag Manager. And it's also multi-language, which is very important in this part of Europe. So from the beginning, we knew that our tool would be open source, but we did encounter high development costs, and we were looking for a solution to make it sustainable for us, to share the cost, and also make it accessible for potential clients. So we decided to go, when we were thinking to go with 2 different models. So the first model is the self-hosting model, when you pay a small fee to access the code, and you can, ask for commercial support for the support. In this case, the user, the company that will use the tool will have the freedom to reuse and resell and adapt the software as they wish. Or the other model is the SaaS subscription, where you pay a monthly or yearly subscription, and we manage the hosting and the maintenance, and the end user will access the product via a web interface. So I would like to leave you with this thought-provoking question. What do you think about charging a fee for releasing an open source software? I would like to thank the SFCon team, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Sandro. So we have time for question, if there is question from the audience. Otherwise, what's your answer to the kind of question that you put at the end?
Honestly, we were here for this.
So you expect someone to give a contribution?
A contribution from the...
A question over there. The microphone is coming. Oh, yeah. Great. The answer.
The question is good. Actually, there is a lot of confusion. There is nothing in the free software principle, open source principle, everywhere that prevents you from charging for releasing code, for giving code, or distributing code. Of course, you cannot charge for the permission to further distribute the same code. So once it's out, the people getting it can reshare, because that's one, otherwise it's not free software. But you can always say, if you give me $100, I give you the code. Of course, if it's GPL, or otherwise you must always release also the source code, so you cannot charge for releasing the corresponding source code. These are the limitation, but in principle, there is no such a limitation.
Okay, thank you.
Any other contribution to the discussion? So not only question, anyone who want to reply to what Carlo said?
So I didn't get if your tool is able to actually scan websites in order to find the cookies.
No, it just, no. You have to implement them yourself.
Okay, because there is a tool developed by the European...
Ubenda, maybe, that I mentioned before. Ubenda?
No. It's from the European EDBPS, the European Privacy Authority, and they made a tool that scans for cookies. That is for compliance, so it's for compliance officers. But probably you may think about.
Actually, we made that for our needs, private needs, for to understand which script we had to block, but eventually, with that tool from the European Union, you have to eventually do it yourself on the website.
Yeah, but it would be interesting to
integrate. Of course, it would be a cool feature to add. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Any other ideas coming from the audience or questions? So, are you in talk to do something more? Or how do you see the future of this project?
Sorry?
How do you see the future of this project?
We talked about this with other guys before, and they said that in this particular situation where you are a small company, and it's very hard to go with a fee to access the code, because that also limits the community access to develop more feature that will bring more people to the software. So we're actually still thinking about this.
Okay, so maybe we will meet in the next SFSCon and try to see if you solve the dilemma and have an answer to that. But thank you very much again, Sandro.